You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, that is how you start the weekend off on the right way as the Astros come out in Game 1 of 3 this weekend against the Los Angeles Dodgers and look fantastic across the boards. A win that they needed again after coming off of a win to end the Oakland series and keeping pace with the American League West and keeping their lead, in the division with that victory tonight. Hi, and welcome to the Locked On Astros Postcast tonight. Thank you guys for joining me, your host, Michael Connor. Of course, if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you're not new, thanks for returning. And if you're not new and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? As we talk all things Astros tonight. Tonight's show of this Locked On Astros Postcast, by the way, is brought to you by SupplyHouse.com. It's the reliable way to get parts fast. Shop for your next plumbing, h-vac, or electrical job and get fast shipping from coast to coast at SupplyHouse.com. All right, let's get into tonight's baseball game. And let's start off with a man that is a hot button topic for a lot of people. And that is the man, the myth, the legend, the franchise, Framber Valdez. Went out there tonight. Now, yeah, got himself into a little bit of a situation there in the 6th inning. Got out of it. Got a couple guys on in the 7th inning. Got it out. Came out of the baseball game. Handed it off to Bryan Abreu, who I'll give Bryan Abreu. For those of you that have watched this show, you know that I have loved to bring up Bryan Abreu this season and how it has not been the cleanest experience with him. To me, not the most settling experience to watch him pitch this season. But he came out in that 7th inning. Framber comes out and gets some big boy outs and did it quickly. And good on him for that. So, credit to him, Ryan Presley as well. The Astros formula for winning. Starting pitcher goes out, does his thing. Hand it off to the bullpen, Abreu, Presley. Good thing is you didn't have to go to Hader tonight. Hader gets another night off. He's not pitched since, good Lord, when's the last time he pitched? Saturday, I think. He's almost had a week off from games. But that's the formula, right? And that's the formula for any good team is to get typically to the back end of your bullpen. But for this team specifically, to get that back into the bullpen. But we got to talk about Framber tonight and what he did. I know that there's a lot of people that still and never will completely trust him. He is a head case. There is no denying that. Not even the biggest Framber homer in the history of time. Like his family could come on here and they would have to admit it as well. He absolutely, on the mound, is a head case when things go bad. He gets in his feels, and you know what? It's just going to be that way. But when he rolls, man, that guy rolls. He's got his ERA on the season now back down to 3.43, moves to 9-5, ties the season high, 10 strikeouts. He had 5 strikeouts in a row at one point in the baseball game. And I think the biggest thing tonight, you could see the energy, a good crowd, great atmosphere. You can hear it through the TV. I know that there are still a lot of people out there that don't have Apple TV. You know, I just tell you to cave. I think they got good programming on there, so I have it. But you could see it. I know he gave up the double to Ohtani to start the baseball game, and it's like, here you go. And Ohtani's a guy that Framber has dominated, absolutely dominated in his career. He's 3 for 35 or something coming into this one tonight, lifetime against Framber. Seeing him so much, obviously, being with the Angels for all those years. But it had that feel. It's like, you don't love to see that to start a game. But credit to Framber. He just rolled. Absolutely rolled. And then good on Joe Espada there in that 7th inning. Or in that, was that the 7th or the 6th? Now I can't even remember what inning that was in. That was, did somebody say in the comments, was it seventh? Was it when he challenged the call at home? That was the sixth inning? Yeah, right? That was the sixth inning. Great call to challenge that after getting that out on Kike Hernandez. Getting that out on Kike Hernandez and, checking to see if that run came home. Big picture again. Framber's fastball looked excellent tonight. His curveball was great. He got a lot of swing and miss. I know that Dodgers lineup is not their best lineup. They don't have Freddie Freeman was a scratch ahead of the game going back to California, so I'd imagine you're not going to see him come back this weekend. They don't have Mookie Betts right now. But you know what? You got to play the team that's out there against you. And that Astros team right now is a better team at the moment, top to bottom, when they play on nights like this than what the Dodgers put out on paper necessarily. So, at home, you should think, hey, you know what? It's going to be great. It's going to be one of those nights. And the Astros, to their credit, went out there and they did that. They need Framber to consistently be this guy. We've talked about it ad nauseum for this team. That's just what they have to have. We're going to talk about the trade deadline. Basically, all these shows between now and Tuesday, we're going to wrap up these shows with trade deadline watch discussion because I just think that it's something that we should do. We do have some fresh comments pregame from Dana Brown today talking about, the plan and what they're going to do. So we'll talk about that in the last few minutes of the show today. And they're not hiding it. They need starting pitching. They want starting pitching. And we know that that's a must. But what's also a must is getting Framber to do this, having Ronel Blanco continue to do his thing, hopefully getting Verlander back at some point. And, I'm not asking for vintage Verlander at this stage because he's not that. And keeping Hunter Brown where he's at. And if you can add one more starter, you're going to feel really good about things, being able to push this thing through. And this is a big weekend, too, just from the standing standpoint. Astros still hold that one-game lead in the West. The Rangers keep beating up on bad teams, which, again, I'm not saying that is, I'm sure there's going to be a Rangers fan out there somewhere that finds that comment and says something. That's not a shot. It's just the truth. Just like the Mariners tonight. The Mariners beat the tar off the White Sox tonight. The White Sox are terrible. Astros get to play those teams too, and they have to do the same thing. So the West is keeping up. Rangers, by the way, collapsed actually tonight and lost it late against the Blue Jays. Or did they lose it late? Yeah, they lost it late. They were up 5-4 and gave up a couple of runs, one run in the seventh, one run in the eighth. So they did lose tonight. That's a good thing. But the West is bunched up. And, Toronto's a very beatable team for the Rangers overall. And the Mariners are playing those White Sox, who we all know are awful. They've lost now 12 games in a row, and they're going to probably trade away any kind of pieces that they have left here the next few days. So we'll see. And the Astros, do the Astros have a series left against the White Sox? Or do they? Yeah, they do. They have a home series against them in August. So they'll get the benefit of playing them too. And hopefully they'll be worse by then and really out of it. Maybe they'll be on like a 25-game losing streak. So that's why, again, this weekend is so big, and this is a big, massive start to the weekend. Framber doing exactly what he needed to do, come out, set the tone, break off the curveballs, throw the sinkers, and the changeup, which, I still don't know if it's a changeup or not. And they can call it a changeup. It's like 92 miles an hour. I think it's more of a sinker. He just throws it slower. But that's okay. A changeup is supposed to go down. It's all about the arm action. That's all it is. It's about making it look like a fastball, and the speed's less, and the hitter can't touch it. And he had everything tonight. He typically has his stuff. We'll find out exactly, what it looks like each night. But it was good Framber all night long. And I'm glad that we wanted to come on here and talk about bad Framber and hear a bunch of complaints and do all those things. And then on top of it, you beat the Dodgers. Who doesn't love to beat those T-shirt fans? Simple as that. Good night for the Astros. Let's talk about some bat flips. Let's talk about the offense doing its thing tonight. Let's give some love to a guy that you guys love to hate on as well. I haven't even looked at the comments yet. I'm going to go ahead and guess. Let me pull up the comments for the show as we do this live here in the Locked On Astros Postcast. Oh, yeah. We got some Jake Myers comments in here tonight, baby. Jake Myers is one of the guys that always gets them, too. We'll talk about all that here in a brief second, right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. This episode of the Locked On Astros Postcast brought to you by Booking.com. Booking. Yeah, of course, summer travel. It is heating on up, especially for baseball games. It's time to explore those U.S. cities that you've always secretly wanted to learn more about. Yes, we're talking about your rivals' cities. I've told you guys once, I'll tell you again. I've used Booking.com on many occasions to get me to postseason action for the Astros on the road in the past. Now, those days might be behind me, but I will still use Booking.com when I'm looking to get to a city. Like maybe next month you want to head up to Boston. A couple weeks. Astros are in Boston. You haven't seen Fenway yet. Highly recommend. One of the ballparks I want to see, Baltimore. They're in Baltimore in August. Maybe I'll plan a trip. Booking.com. Yeah, that's right. I'll do it. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, on the site, or in the Booking.com app. And one more quick reminder before we get back to our Astros discussion, talk about the Bats doing their thing tonight real quick. It's about FanDuel Sports. They're going now. We've got summer games going on. You can get in on the action right now over at FanDuel. Lots of sports that have odds on them. Of course, you got your baseball every day as well. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Locked On Astros Postcast here on a Friday night. Thank you to all of you that are piling on in, joining us here on the show. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. We keep a rolling. We're getting closer, I believe, to I always like to do the update because you guys are awesome and you kill it for this channel. And I greatly appreciate that. We're getting closer, people. We got to get to 1,400 by the end of the weekend. We're at 1,382. Can we do it tonight? There's got to be 10 of you at least that are first-time watchers. Hit the subscribe button. Come back. We don't bite. We love here. We get mad, too. You know what I didn't get mad about tonight is the Astros beat the Dodgers 5-0. Is there anything? Now, I know there's a lot of great things on this Astros baseball team, right? A lot of great things that we enjoy. I mean, overall, you still might not be overly enthused with the record and everything this season and having the division lead be a game at this point. Like, you could be like me and you had a huge expectation they're going to come out and win 95-plus games again this year, yada, yada, yada. I'm past all that. They got back to where they need to be. It's going to be a dogfight the rest of the way. That's okay. I can live with that. Just get in, right? Just get in. Give yourself a chance in an American League that, by the way, and again, we're going to talk about trade deadline stuff in just a couple of minutes. But the things that we love with this baseball team, the on the field stuff. And I put big bad bat flips on the screen there. John Singleton's bat flips are just epic. They are so good. Like I thought back in I think he was here 2015 and 16, I believe. I need to look that up. I should know that, which again, I'm not going to pour my massive water jug out, but pour one out figuratively for Luis Valbuena, who died tragically in Venezuela a few years ago in the Winter League down there. But I always thought that like his bat flips when they got him were awesome. John Singleton's are better. When he hits one and he gets into a baseball, and Valbuena was here, 2015, 2016. His first year, I mean, he's pretty solid Astro for 2 years. Second year was really good when he played. when did he pass away? He passed away. Good Lord, 2018. He's been gone that long. He's 33. My age. That's sad. But those bat flips are just epic. Absolutely epic. You just love to see them when they happen. And good on him to have another moment, Singleton, in this season where, he's kind of claimed some playing time. We'll see what the deadline looks like for him. It doesn't sound like they're going to go out there and get a first baseman, so that's okay. That's okay. But I just love to watch the bat flips. I also love to watch Alex Bregman hit the ball over the fence. It's been a little up and down power-wise, been a little up and down lately overall for him. The Astros need him to find the consistency level. I mean, look, he's getting into crunch time. I know this is something that we're not necessarily worried about because I don't think any of us here believe that there's a chance he's back with the Astros next year. I shouldn't say that there's a chance, not a chance, but he's really in that period of time in the season now where you're creeping up on the final 2 months with numbers to where, they got to improve a lot because even though they've improved from where they were early in the season, they're still not wonderful. I mean, it's going to be his worst big league season, his worst full big league season that he's ever played. If he stays kind of where he's at right now. He's got a 735 OPS, which is above league average. I get it, but this is a guy that was a 900 OPS, 1,000 OPS, 800 something. I mean, even his down years, 2022, 2023, where he, hit 259 and 262, he still had OPS over 800, 820, and then 804. So, he's not slugging at all overall. 13 home runs now in the season. They need more pop. But good to see him hit one over the fence tonight. Big swings. Joey Loperfido as well. Good swing for him to get a big RBI. And then Jake Myers at the end of the game. Again, we mentioned him. Just wanted to give him some more love because as July has not been unbelievable batting average-wise. I think he's hitting below 200 on the month coming into this one tonight, which, again, batting average, not everything. I get it, but he'd been pretty bad when it came to, doing anything consistently with the batting average recently, and gets a 3-for-3 game. And that, look, he took advantage, and you love that. And it's a good night when you have a guy up there at the plate. Myers should have been called out. Strike 3 there on that pitch down and away. That was a strike in the zone. I think it was a strike. It should have been strike 3 or at least strike 2, whatever it was. That was strike 3. And didn't get the call. In a world with electronic strike zone, of course, that's not happening. And then he crushed one out there to left center. And then on top of that, a guy that has not really done anything in the last month at all, Mauricio Dubon coming in, pinch hitting, RBI double. That's big because the Astros do need him to be very good. Oh, look at that. I think the Dodgers fans found the comments, guys. I think it happened. Wow, what an original comment. Trastros are garbage. Oh, man, that's whew. This show's reeling now. I don't know if we're going to make it, guys. I think I'm going to have to just wrap it up and quit. It's sad. It is sad. Obviously wasn't at the game tonight. I don't know if any of you guys were out there as well, but I don't know how the atmosphere was in terms of people that are, at it, but whatever. And for those of you that are, I see a lot of comments coming in about the Apple TV. No, there's no Space City Network on Apple TV. It's just Apple TV. That's where the game was. You got to have Apple TV. Oh yeah, everybody send that Dodger troll over to David. That's you guys get trolled by David all night long, but let's send David to troll the Dodger fan. That's exactly what we need in the comments tonight because David will get after him. If you're new to the channel, you'll learn real quick that the chat is we got our regulars and we love them, and David's one of them, and he is he's our favorite player hater of the chat. He's usually on it. He's got something to say about Jordan every night. I don't know why, but he's got something to say. We love David and his player hating ball. Hate. If you haven't seen that Chappelle show, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Go watch the Chappelle show. It's a couple of the greatest seasons of television in the history of time. Let's talk about trade deadline stuff because trade deadline is coming quickly. Lots going on in the division. One team in the division already out there moving and shaking. What's it mean for the Astros? Does it really matter? What are the Astros going to do? We'll talk about it next here in the Locked On Astros Postcast. Right now, I want to tell you about SupplyHouse. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trade, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every trade master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. Locked On Astros Postcast continues. Appreciate you guys joining us here on the show. Let's talk now after the Astros get a win. We're going to do this between now and Tuesday. I know that Tuesday they will play a game that day, so we won't do our reaction to the deadline. Maybe I'll just post a regular video on our channel whenever it happens. Did I say Tuesday? What day is it? I don't even know what day of the week. Yeah, Tuesday. Tuesday night at Minute Maid against the Pirates. I'm sorry, I'm so distracted. In the world of, and again, this is off the beaten path. I'm sorry. In the world of having facial hair, I have this hair in my mustache that constantly is poking me in the nose, and I keep forgetting about it, and then I start talking a lot, and my nose is itching the whole time. So, I've got first world problems right now. You know what? I'm not going to get mad about it, though, because the Astros won tonight. That's it. That's all I'm worried about. The Astros won tonight. Simple as that. So, deadline. The Astros division is, of course, a division that's very winnable for, look, right now, 3 teams. I don't, I try to put my baseball hat on, my baseball lens. I don't like the Rangers. You guys don't like the Rangers. Don't like the fake fan base that doesn't exist there. They're just, everything about them is cheesemo. Congratulations. I give credit where credit's due. They won a World Series last year. They eliminated the Astros. It is what it is. But they've beat up on some bad teams recently, which you have to do. And they're back in the race, right? They're 3 games out of the division. The Mariners are right there with the Astros. They have that series, by the way, that White Sox-Mariners series is the 2 worst offenses in baseball in terms of batting average. But they've got to go out there and do some stuff to try and get their team better, do the Mariners. And that's happened over the last day. They picked up a former Astro in Yimi Garcia. They traded for him. They also shipped out a former Astro. They shipped Ryan Stanek over to the New York Mets today, which is interesting because in the offseason, the Mets there were some reports for a while there that the Mets were getting close to sign Ryan Stanek. So his stay in Seattle does not last very long. He'd been getting lit up recently. It had not been good. And then when he gave up, he gave it up the other night when the Astros were in town. That was probably the final straw. They're like, you know what? This guy came in here and he is giving it up to his former team and helping them out. We got to get him out. Get him out quickly. I don't know why it makes me think of him, but I do that voice to annoy one of my nephews at the house because he just loves when I do impressions, and I just say crazy things too. Because if I watch the reels that they get turned into memes basically, and then I just whatever. But they pick up to the Mariners. They pick up Randy Arozarena today. And if you've not seen it yet, Randy Arozarena at the Mariners game, or he didn't go to Chicago yet. I don't know if the trade, obviously the trade will be official at some point. Tonight, he stayed in Tampa and sat in the stands with fans and watched the Rays play. It's the most bizarre thing you've ever seen. It's just weird. But he has not been good this season, at all. And you go look at the Mariners, and they're terrible offensively. And they went and traded all these prospects for a guy that this season is hitting 211. 211. He's a career 254 hit, but he's hitting 211. And he's striking out like crazy. He's got 101 strikeouts. He got a 712 OPS. I don't even think he qualifies to have the best OPS on their team. I think, what's the big dumper behind the plate? Oh, God, is it Cal Raleigh? I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Because I wanted to say Ty France. Ty France got DFA'd, which was a little bit surprising that it happened that quickly. But he's out there in Seattle. I think Cal Raleigh's got their highest OPS on the team, which is 715, and Arozarena has one that is 712. So he's not even going to have the best OPS on the team. This is a guy that's hit, he hits about 20 home runs a year. He's got 15 this year, so he still hit the ball out of the park a little bit. I'm not going to say that it's not going to make them better. Look, the guy had one of the most incredible postseason runs you'll see that year when they went to the World Series, knocked the Astros out in the COVID season. Was the ALCS MVP against the Astros in that series because he hit 4 home runs. I think he hit, 7? He hit 7. He hit 10. He hit 10 in that postseason. It's just wild. And he didn't even hit any in the wild card round where they played 2 games. I'm not going to downplay the Randy Arozarena thing. He's not going to, he's not going to matter. But it's I didn't look at that move and say, oh my God, you should be shaking in your boots. The Mariners went out and got, so unbelievable today. They basically shuffled out one bat that wasn't doing anything and swinging and missing for another bat that is swinging and missing a lot, getting on base at an okay clip for a guy that swings and misses as much as he does and hits the ball over the fence occasionally. They're a bad offensive team, and it's going to be their downfall. I don't think that there's enough that the Mariners can do to make their offense lethal enough to be a problem going forward. I don't think those kind of bats are necessarily available, and they probably won't give up the prospect capital that it takes anyways to go out and get that kind of stuff. Now for the Astros, Dana Brown ahead of the game, he talked about basically he's very out there with it. They need a starter. And we've seen some of the names linked in the last couple of days. Jameson Taillon's name has been linked quite a bit. They initially had been, talked about a little bit with Crochet there in Chicago. And that story is just bizarre there because he is apparently, through his agent, telling teams that if you trade for me, I'm not going to pitch in the postseason out of the bullpen, and I'm not going to do it unless I get a contract extension. Good for him for wanting his money or whatever, but he's trying to protect himself. So the Astros probably aren't going down that road. And that's fine. I don't think they're ever going down that road in the first place. And Dana Brown, I did think had one interesting thing where he basically acknowledged, nobody's untouchable on this thing. And no, I'm not saying that I don't think that the Mariners, by the way, real quick, I'm seeing the comments. I'm not saying I don't think the Mariners aren't much of a concern by any means. They can pitch their butts off, starting staff wise. They got holes in the bullpen, and they're still, look, Jerry DiPoto, the GM there, that guy makes a gajillion deals a year. He can't sit still. He's going to make 5 more trades. He's already made 3. I'm sure he's going to make at least 2 or 3 more. So we'll see. But David, get after them. They're going after Altuve in the comments. You better get after it. Sorry, I got distracted again. If you're new to the channel tonight, thanks for coming by. We got a lot of you guys in here tonight. Hit that subscribe button while you're here. Appreciate it. But the Astros need to get a starting pitcher, flat out. But Dana Brown basically acknowledged that nobody is untouchable. And that's probably a good thing. They have guys in that farm system that they probably won't tell us aren't untouchable, but there's probably a few that they aren't going to even, think about trading unless they got a big time, massive, game changer for this baseball team. I don't think that necessarily will happen. And if it does, good. At some point, you got to hold on to some prospects. So we'll see what happens there. But that's the latest, is that they know it. We know it. The world knows it. And I don't think, honestly, that as Astros fans, I would get myself too wrapped up in emotions when it comes to deadline stuff. I think there's a real possibility you don't get anything. And you know why? Because of the additions of the wild card. And this is really where, honestly, they have to get everything figured out league-wise. They have to add 2 more teams to the league. They have to. They have to get to 32. There's too many teams that make the postseason now for a league with 30 teams. It's just a fact. You got too many teams in there. So you have too many teams that are gunning to trade for. There's so few teams that are willing to sell left and right. And it's, if you're a buyer, the market is always going to. I'm not saying that but it should be even sometimes. And, 1 year it's a buyer's market. 1 year it's a seller's market. It is going to be a seller's market, or a seller's market of terms of who's going to win this one big time. And we'll see what happens there with that. But all I know is that the Astros got a very nice win over those sad Dodgers, who can't win anything except for a Mickey Mouse World Series in a COVID year, in a alternate site to do it. Yeah, that's right. I said it. So yeah, it's nice to get the 5-0 win over them. They're going to do this again tomorrow night, 6:10, the first pitch for that one. Ronel Blanco will go for the Astros, 9-5 with a 2.75 ERA on the season. Justin Wroblewski will go for the Dodgers. He's making his 4th career start. So, and he's got a 4.40 and 0-1 record. He's 24 years old, lefty. Screams Astros. Screams Astros. We'll see what happens. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Hit that subscribe button. Don't be a stranger. Even you troll Dodgers fans are welcome back tomorrow night, so David can heckle you in the comments. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. I will talk to all of you tomorrow night after the Astros beat the Dodgers again on the Locked On Astros Postcast.